The occupational therapist came by, I think it was on Friday, or it might have been Wednesday, I'm not sure. And anyway, she told me about how I should bend because the more I bend, the more I actually, if I bend over to and I touch my head or my chin to my knees, then I'm gonna screw up that seal. Uh, there's a there's a seal. There's a that vacuum system that I have in my mouth. It's hooked up. It's got a tube running through it that tube eventually runs to my left buttock area, and it sucks out all the nasty stuff, the bacteria and the fluid and all that stuff that my body is trying to get rid of. Um, well, the occupational therapist, I showed her this transfer, how I can transfer onto this bench, and she told me that you don't want to bend over too much because if you bend over really far, uh, like if your chin gets close to your knees, if you bend way over forward, then you're going to uh, tear up or rip up or pull too hard on the bandages or the draping that is sealing up the hose and the vacuum system on your buttock, on your left buttock. So this time I was really conscientious about how I was moving my left arm, my left leg around, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't bend too far down so that I would um, screw up the seal on my skin on my left buttock area. So, and I think I did a pretty good job because that vacuum system that I had in my mouth, the little machine thing that I had in my mouth, um, it has 4 bars. So it has 4 bars, and the as you as it if it has a hole in the seal, then then it decreases the amount of bars that are obtained. So, like if you have a little tiny hole in the seal on your skin, and the vacuum system is working harder, then it will go down to 3 bars. It will only suck to 3 bars. Um, and if you have a really bad hole, then it will go down to 1 bar. And if you have an extremely bad leak in the seal, if you just tore up that seal really bad, and it's not even sucking at all, it's not even sucking any of the fluid, the nasty fluid, the bacteria that's in your body out anymore, then it will just say, it will there's a beeper, or there's a alarm on that little motor that I had or that little machine that I had in my mouth, um, the right there that I have with my left hand. That'll start beeping, and it'll say there's a leak. It'll say on the bottom leakage or something like that. So what I would have to do then is I would have to transfer to my wheelchair. Actually, I would have to get back into bed, lay on my belly, and then let my wife put on some more of that plastic draping, or the plastic sealing stuff to try and get it back to seal again, to seal to my skin, or to get it to seal with my skin again, really nice and tight, so that it would be good again, so that it would be sucking out all of this, all of the nasty fluid and the bacteria and stuff that my body is trying to get rid of, or creating and trying to get rid of, and the machine is trying to get rid of. But luckily, this time, because I did these face up rows, chest rows yesterday on this flat bench yesterday, and I didn't have any significant breakage of the seal, so the vacuum system worked pretty good yesterday, even after I had done this, all these big transfers. And I was just kind of upset because, here I'm trying to do as many exercises as I can, because I get bored, because I lay in bed over 90%, 95% of the time. So it's nice to have a little bit of variety in exercises, and well, you know why I do exercises, because it helps your mental, helps keep you sane. It gives you something to do. But anyway, so I was really glad that I didn't screw up the seal too bad whenever I was doing this exercise, and it still is a pretty good. It's still with a pretty good vacuum system. The home health nurse doesn't come until Monday, so we had this. I have this whole weekend to screw it up, and on these past weekends, it seemed like every few hours my wife had to, I had to lay on my belly and my wife had to patch up the seal again. So it was back to sealing, and so I would get to 4 bars or 3 bars, or get the alarm to stop coming on anymore. But anyway, today, now my butt is hurting me, and I'm wondering if it's because maybe this bench is a little bit too hard on my bottom. The doctor told me, he said that if you lay straight on your back, you're not putting as much pressure on your left buttock as you are if you were to sit on your bottom. And that makes sense, of course. So I'm not putting as much pressure on my left buttock, but I think it's just too much. And so hopefully it won't be yelling at me today. Hopefully my swelling won't be yelling at me so much later on today, and it'll feel a little bit better.